So we are here at Overland Expo West 2022 in Flagstaff, Arizona. This complex is the Fort Tuthill complex.
County something.
Base. Fairgrounds.
Fairground. No, I don't think
Event
it's
center.
Event something.
Fort Tuthill.
Here.
Overland Expo West. And Overland Expo West, which is end of May in most years, non-COVID affected, is really sort of a mecca for overland travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for us, at least, for Go Roughly Around the World, this represents our third and final sort of event, at least scheduled event, for this sort of spring 2022 beginning of Go Roughly Around the World, where, before we sort of can get off and onward into the wilderness, which is always the aim.
Yeah, so the first event that we went to was Horizons Unlimited. That was in Mariposa, California. So Horizons Unlimited, it's all about travelers, moto travelers for the most part, but there were some others as well. And it's all a community. It's about people getting together, sharing their experiences. Horizons Unlimited has a really great website that has a bunch of resources, anything that you want to know about overland travel, international travel, about shipping your bikes, or about food, or about routes. They're just really knowledgeable people, and it's sort of like crowdsourced.
You surf the crowdsourcing.
It's sort of crowdsourced in that everybody can provide information, and Grant Johnson and his wife Susan Johnson are the ones who manage Horizons Unlimited.
A really great kind of experience of really moto travel focused people. So not specific to off-road or dirt riding or something like that, but sort of going out and exploring the world, cultures, destinations, and sort of putting yourself out there into it.
Exactly. And we made some really great friends there, and these people are all our types of people, so we were really happy about that.
Yeah, it's good to be among your kind,
yeah.
Your tribe.
Just a quick time out to tell you how you can support the Go Roughly Around the World adventure for Girl Up. You can donate directly to Girl Up at goruffly.com/world-adventure. You can make a purchase at goruffly.com where 10% goes towards the fundraiser. Tell all your friends and family about it, and of course, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much. Now back to the adventure. After Horizons Unlimited, the next event that we did, which was just like the week after, was the Revzilla and RawHyde Get On ADV Fest. That was an experience.
Get over.
Get on.
Get around? Get through.
It was the Get On ADV Fest. That was in the Mojave Desert. It was very different than Horizons Unlimited. So Horizons Unlimited, it was in the fairgrounds in Mariposa. It was more of a sort of classroom type based thing. ADV Fest was all about going out and doing the rides. They had like instructor-led rides, they had self-rides, they had like beginners, moderate, and advanced different routes that you could take, and each day they had different routes.
Had like a Locura rides if you were really like batshit crazy for that.
Yeah. And then they had a bunch of demo bikes as well, so you could try the new Pan America by Harley Davidson. They had a bunch of
Ducati was there.
Ducati, Aprilia, all different brands, and then there were all the vendors as well. So it was cool to see how other people like do ADV riding and what they like, because it's sort of a scene that we're not really used to. Because yes, we do ADV riding because we need to in the places that we lived and the traveling that we do. But it's not necessarily that we go out on the weekend specifically to go and ride a dirt road. So it was different for us in that sense. But it was good to really understand how they do it and see how they do the instruction as well. So it was a really great event, and people were really interested in seeing how you could do ADV riding with a dog on the back. So I was happy to share that information.
Now, one of my takeaways, and this isn't specific to the event, but it was sort of since we've been living in Guatemala the last 6 years, I mean, we're not in contact with sort of the communities in that live and in-person kind of way. I could see how getting into motorcycling can be very, or especially ADV motorcycling, adventure motorcycling, could be very sort of intimidating. Because there is this sort of, well, what bike do you ride? You know, what gear are you wearing? And like anything among humankind, we tend to get into a comparison thing of, you know, my gear versus yours, how much did it cost? Nobody certainly was overtly doing that. It's just how we are as human beings, our psychology, right? And so it's probably an important thing that as you are entering that, I suppose, as any other sport, potentially, you know, is to kind of try and put those aside, and the fact that you are starting on a used 2009, I don't know what, that's this big, is your way of starting, and isn't necessarily, you know, have anything to do with the fact that the other guy has a brand new, this big, bigger engine, which makes, you know, cooler sounds and does better job. So I think it's important to, like, take in that and say, start how you're going to start. Yeah,
and I think that led us to that conversation that we were having about, are our bikes the right bikes to be doing it around the world on? And my bike is a 2013. It has 70,000 miles on it, but it's the bike that I'm comfortable with. Like, I sat on the 800 Adventure, the GS, and it was tall, it was uncomfortable, it was something that I wasn't used to. And the thought of doing it around the world, which means all different types of terrain, all different types of climates that we're going to be riding through, it would be a huge learning curve for us in order to do it. Yeah,
every time I see him just chill.
Yeah.
I got a German Shepherd. He's about 155 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Rescue,
he's a big guy.
Yeah, she's 75, so she's not up there yet.
Awesome. How are you doing? You've just been relaxing all day.
Yeah, she's been riding, so she's taking a break.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, that's awesome.
What I've come to discover for myself is that it really is, the bike that you should do it on is the bike that you have. Like, that's really the best way, because it's a bike that you're most comfortable with, that you know how it's going to handle on different terrain. You're just going to feel a lot more comfortable doing it on a bike that you feel good on, rather than going up to something new or different. Hey! When we left Mojave at the ADV Fest, my bike was already sort of struggling. It was doing that thing again where...
Your bike was struggling since, like, Guatemala.
Since Guatemala. Well, we've obviously had the oil leak issue that 4 BMW dealers haven't been able to figure out properly.
Episode 3 and 4 and 5, maybe 6.
And then after the oil issue, now I started having, like, battery starter issues. Yeah. So, like, I wouldn't stay in neutral or even in first gear without, like, shutting off. Like, so it would take me, like, 3 or 4 tries to start the bike. It would putter, and then it would turn off. When we went to LA, we brought it into the dealer, actually the same dealer that we bought the bikes from in 2013 in Ventura, and got them to do the servicing, because that was always the plan, that after these 4 BMW dealers that couldn't solve my oil leak issue, they were going to be the ones to do it. And Doug at BMW did a great job of assessing my bike.
And basically determining that, are you sure you want to save this thing?
Yeah. So there was about $6,000 worth of repairs that would need to be done, of known repairs, which didn't include this turning off issue, whatever that is.
Which was a known repair that had an unknown cause and an unknown solution with an unknown cost.
After he gave us that quote, it just sort of made me feel like, why would I put $6,000 into this 2013 bike that has 70,000 miles that I need to take around the world? ... Stay tuned, because that will be in an upcoming episode. Foreshadow casting. That's how we say it, yes. Now we're at Overland Expo West here in Flagstaff, Arizona. And it's all about these overlanding vehicles. So there are these really cool, tricked out, like Jeep-type vehicles, or even these larger truck-looking ones.
These, like, world conqueror-type vehicles.
That have, like the
end-of-days type stuff.
That have the huge wheels, and then they've got the campers attached to them, and all of their accessories. And they look really awesome. Very expensive vehicles, but very, like, heavy-duty. Like, this is what you would take if you were on, like, an Africa expedition. That's what you would imagine. That's what these are.
But there's also a moto section. There's a whole moto community here, a whole moto section, and really beautifully, Overland Expo has sort of embraced Jess and what she was trying to do with GoRUFFLY around the world, and the Girl Up fundraiser. And so they have made a donation
Yes, so at the Moto Party, which is happening on Saturday night, they are going to provide a $1,000 donation to Girl Up to help us get across that $10,000 barrier on our way up to $100,000. So that is going to be like the best thing that we could have gotten from this whole experience for Girl Up.
And Jess is going to be presenting a few things.
I'm presenting about what it's like to ride with a big dog on the back, and then about the whole around the world, what it's like to travel and work at the same time when you're with a big dog. So that's coming up as well. And then Greg is also going to be doing some of our in-booth demos and talking about the cockpit, about how you can mount it to your own bike, what it's like to train your dog to ride. All of that stuff is going to be happening at our booth here at Overland Expo. The last really cool thing about Overland Expo...
never say the last. We say the penultimate.
Okay.
It's like the last drink of the night.
Fine. Penultimate.
It's the penultimate drink, because there might always be another one.
Okay, but this one's really cool. You're going to like it. They are extremely pet friendly. Yes. There are so many dogs here. People are bringing them in their camper vehicles, in their ADV vehicles. Nobody else is bringing their dog on their bike except me. I haven't seen anyone else do it.
The way you can't know it is because we've edited this video, is because it has taken us like a dozen takes to get through anything, because every time Moxie, she's like sleeping beside us.
And then she gets triggered by the dog that walks by. Something about the smell just gets her, and then she has to go off on a bit of an alarm. So, but the pet friendliness, it's nice, especially because the last two events, there were just a few dogs, but not many. Here, people actually are embracing that idea and bringing their dogs and showing what it's like to travel with their dogs. So it's all in our sort of wheelhouse and among our tribe and our people. So
very GoRUFFLY in that sense.
It's very GoRUFFLY. Thanks so much for watching this GoRUFFLY Around the World special. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube and at GoRUFFLY for Facebook and Instagram. New episodes come out every Sunday at 11 a.m., so make sure that you're tuned in and that you have your notifications turned on so you can stay up to date with us. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.